Hey everyone, what's up? It's a beautiful day in Houston. Let's do a walkthrough of the garden and find out what is happening. All right, now let's take a look at these grow bags I have along the fence. So these are the bitter leaves. I pruned them down at the end of the season last fall, and as you can see, we're starting to have like new growth of the bitter leaves, which I'm so excited for. So yeah, the snow did not kill the roots, and we're starting to get new growth, as you can see, in all of the bags that we have along the fence. So bitter leaves is going to be something that I really concentrate to grow a lot of this year, and that is because I can grow the bitter leaves in spaces such as this, all along the fence, all in these containers. We have the bitter leaves even along the fence over there. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, bitter leaves along the fence. So over here we have newly germinated Jama Jama. That's the garden huckleberry. I started the seeds early this year just to see how they do. So I started the seeds around the middle of February outdoors, just broadcasted the seeds outdoors, and it took, I want to say, about 10 days, more than 10 days for the seeds to germinate. And this is how much growth we have. What I have done is I've gone ahead and sprinkled some pesticides to control slugs because I'm expecting slugs or snails to come after these. So I've sprinkled that and I'm just keeping an eye to see how they do. So yeah, guys, this is my very first Jama Jama. It's already out in the garden and I'm expecting a harvest in about 4 weeks. Once it sprouts, it grows quite rapidly. So this should be changing quite a bit in the next 2 weeks. Now let's go take a look at the other side of the garden just to see what is going on. That's the main part of the garden. So this is the overview of the garden. As you can see, it is looking beautiful. It is looking nice and clean because I've taken some time to pull out all of the weed in preparation for the spring gardening season. So the onions have picked up and they're doing quite well. Anytime now, they should start bulbing. These are short day onions, the type that is recommended for gardening in the south. So I'm expecting these to start bulbing anytime soon. And once I harvest, then I will plant something else over here, possibly greens like the garden huckleberry. And in these grow bags, you can see more bitter leaves growing. Again, I pruned them at the end of the season last fall, and we now have fresh growth because it is getting quite warm around here. Moving on, the carrots have picked up quite beautifully, as you can see. I think it's probably starting to form carrots now underneath. So what I did recently was add more soil at the bottom of the carrots just to make sure it is properly covered. You want the carrots not to be exposed to not to be exposed to sunlight because then you get that bitter taste. So I went ahead and added the soil to the bottom, and I'm expecting to start harvesting in about 4 weeks as well. Oh, what do I have going on over here? This is me trying to walk on a sunken garden. That's when you dig up the earth and you bury part of your container. So I'm going to add more soil and bury these containers here. And I'm planning to plant either peppers or tomatoes in these containers. And by the way, this container right here, I I don't want to say I thrifted. I just got it for free off of somebody's yard. They were throwing them away and I was out of my work, and so they are now mine, the blue ones. Yeah, over here we have more bitter leaves. As you can see, the bitter leaves are, the leaves are starting to grow from the bottom there. So this is going to be like my little bitter leaf garden, and then peppers over here in the sunken garden. Keep going on. On this bed, we have spinach, and the spinach is, I've harvested quite a bit of it, but it's not looking very healthy. And that's because, unfortunately, it has been attacked by the parasitic root knot nematode. I have a product that I found that I'm going to use to help with that. I'm going to show you how I apply it. But if you watch that video on the organic products that I use in my garden, the pests and pesticides, then you will see what I'm talking about. Yeah. But yeah, the spinach, I'm probably going to harvest everything soon and plant. This bed is where I'm going to plant my tomatoes this time. I'm going to plant tomatoes over here. Traditionally, I've planted tomatoes on that bed over there, but I'm going to do some kind of plant rotation and put peppers over there where I traditionally put tomatoes, and then over here I'll put tomatoes, and I've traditionally grown peppers over here just to do a little bit of crop rotation. Of course, that's my greenhouse, my portable greenhouse. It has all of my plants in here that are gonna go in the garden soon. See, more bitter leaves. So when I took the stem cuttings from the bitter leaves, I saved them, rooted them, and I'm gonna be getting more bitter leaves. I've already done a tour of this greenhouse, but we have the garden eggs, the papaya, my peppers are in those red cups, tomatoes, as you can see. So a lot of plants just ready to go in the garden. And once I plant everything, I will disassemble this greenhouse and put more vegetables on this bed right here. Okay, there's more going on this side of the house. I use every space to plant something. Let's start right here. Again, more bitter leaves just starting to grow again. In these fabric bags, these grow bags here are gonna be bitter leaves. Well, they're already bitter leaves because I had bitter leaves last year. As you can see, the bitter leaves are starting to grow. So right here, it's gonna be bitter leaves right here. And let's see, this is where I had the nkwi. The nkwi is gonna grow again, as you can see. And what I have done this time is put these containers here, which I'm going to be growing bitter leaves. Can you tell there's going to be a lot of bitter leaves in my garden? Yes, it's such an easy to grow vegetable. Very pest resistant. You don't need much to maintain it. And I cannot find it in stores. So I'm going to be growing a lot of bitter leaves this year. These containers are going to be bitter leaves. That's my compost bin. And then as we keep going, I have created, well, I've always had this space right here, fabric bags. These are gonna be like more bitter leaves. I've grown bitter leaves here for many years. You can see it's coming out of the ground. And then these are freshly planted bitter leaf stems. So I'm gonna have bitter leaves growing here. And these buckets that you see, this one and that one is to collect rainwater. So I harvest rainwater that I use to water all of these plants. So yeah, guys, that's a brief walkthrough of the garden this early March. There's a lot going on. I can't wait for the gardening season to really start in earnest, which is going to be in about 2 weeks. Yeah, in about 2 weeks, I'm going to start putting out all of the plants that you saw in the greenhouse, in the garden, and I just can't wait. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share the video. Help me share the video so we can encourage more people to cultivate their green thumbs. I'll catch you in my next video. Until then, grow a garden so you can grow health. Bye-bye.